Alright, so we're back in the shop today, working on the 62. Trying to finish up our mock-up so we can get the transmission out and go ahead and get it to my buddy so he can build it for me, so we can try to get it back together. I don't know if I mentioned in the last video, but I looked up the weights on these trucks, and I think it was like 3570 or something is what this truck weighed, and stock in 62. But so the inline 6-cylinder with the I assume it was a cast iron bell housing and everything, and the 3 on the column, just the engine and bell housing weighed 608 pounds, and the LS iron block aluminum heads, it's a little more. It's the LS6 was 350 or something without accessories, and I don't remember what iron block was. It's around 100 pounds more, 100 plus pounds more for the iron block, from what I recall. But but we do have the turbo, the added turbo, and intercooler and stuff like that being added. So I'll be curious to see what it ends up weighing when everything's said and done. But like I said, just trying to finish up our mock-up here, getting welded what I can get welded so it stays in place. And got our radiator hoses on. Those fit pretty good. And then I was trying to build the connection pipe to go from the intercooler up to here, and the portaband got me pretty good, so it actually went into the bone some, and I spent the last Saturday in the ER, so that's why I don't have more progress than this at the moment. So it's kind of difficult, working with one thumb. So trying to get done what I can. Like I say, it's holiday weekend, so I'm off Monday, and I should have a little extra time to try to catch up from lost time from last weekend. So I'll be going down my list and trying to get as much knocked out as I can. I did some bulkhead fittings right here for the fuel lines, and then I'm gonna have the regulator on top of the intake. And so I sold the 92, so I won't be using the LS6 and that 4L80 anymore. So this has a 4L80 in it for mock-up, but it's an early style, and it had the fixed yoke that had the bolt in the middle. So my drive shaft guy was asking me, if the yoke went all the way in and all this stuff, and I told him it did, because I wasn't planning on using this transmission anyway, and I didn't know that apparently there's 5 different output shafts for a 4L80, and with the fixed yoke, the standard yoke won't go all the way in, so you have to machine the splines out for about 1 inch deep into the yoke for it to go all the way in, or change the output shafts to the slip yoke style, which actually I've got one right here. So see what I mean about trying to work without a thumb. So this is a slip yoke style, so it's splined all the way down, and then I really don't know what the one in it looks like, but I don't think I can use this one because it's for the later style, and I know that the early style and the later style lube differently. So I think the earlier one has a lube passage in there. So anyway, I'm gonna see what's gonna work out best. If I need to take the drive shaft back to my guy and have him machine the drive shaft, or if my transmission guy can swap the output. So there's the drive shaft down there. He did a beautiful job. as always, but yeah, I mean, it looked like it was going to fit and everything once it went all the way in the transmission. So laying out for the bed, ordered a kit that has the metal strips here. So we got the metal strips that hold the wood down, and then got our gas tank in, fuel lines run, and then I'm about to put the clamps like this on the frame rail to hold it all the way up to the front. And then ordered a bunch more parts. Had a lot of parts coming in. Again, since I don't have the 92, I'm having to buy everything to build the LY6 now. And so, you know, that's how it is. Got an FTI converter for it this time. So I think it's 3200 stall. And then we got more Summit stuff. There's the bed hardware for the wood bed, the wastegate stuff, fuel neck, relays, stuff like that. And then here's the wood bed stuff. So we got it stained and everything, but it kind of came out a lot darker than I anticipated. I'd never stained anything, so it was, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I just really wanted it a little bit lighter than this. So anyway, there's really no way to go back now. So I'm gonna get some polyurethane and finish it to protect it. I think it's oak, but so it's a wood bed kit. Comes with the wood, the metal rails I just showed you, and the hardware. So haven't done a wood bed before, so this will be interesting to see, and hopefully it won't go too bad, because I kind of need to go ahead and get the bed on so I can, you know, kind of see where everything's gonna fall and work on my fill neck. Again, I want to try to come through here and then turn it up inside the bed and then come out and have the tail light open out to fill it. So probably a lot of work, but you know, that's kind of down the list or not on the list. So it's coming along pretty good. Again, other than the thumb, so it's just taking me a lot longer to do stuff now with only one thumb. And anyway, so we got this is the LY6 I talked about. I had gotten, and so I'm going to feed the turbo from here, and Michael's getting me a set of the Liberty heads like I had on the CTSV. So those will be going on here, and I got new cam bearings for it, new chain and gear and all that stuff, new oil pump. There's a F body pan on that now, so that's what I'll be using. And I haven't figured out about wheels and tires. I've picked another set. They're 18 by 8 or something in the front, 18 by 10 in the back. So I've already spent so much money on this truck, you know, and then you look at it and you can't tell at all. So that's just how it goes. But I got the muffler on there. I got a Hooker Max Flow. I just got the wastegate on the crossover, and then got it recirculating. So there's the downpipe. I don't know if I showed the cold side. I got that in, and hopefully it's out of the way of the tire. And then there's the crossover and the wastegate there. And I'm thinking about getting rid of this whole front suspension stuff and going to QA1. It's about $4,200, Yeah, $4,200, but it'll replace all that torsion bar stuff. All the control arms, gives you a rack and pinion steering, and then it gives you coilovers, and it's just a way more modern suspension. So I think it's also 150 pounds lighter than this style suspension, because this suspension will bolt under this truck, but the kit says it's not for 62 because it's 62's torsion bar. So I think the holes are in a little bit different location or something. So, but I mean, obviously it'll work. Of course it will. So, I've just got so much going on right now. I want to get, the bed together again, finish where I'm at with mock-up, and then get this transmission out so I can try to get it built, and then get my engine put together. So hopefully when I get the transmission back, then I can put the real engine and transmission that's going in it, and then I'll finish my mock-up on my charge pipe there for the intercooler, finish plumbing my fuel system, and then start wiring everything. And so here's the intake, just a truck rec port intake. So this was the one off of Clifford when I had the 823 heads on it. So it'll be very similar to that combo, as because the engine in Clifford was a flat top 6.0, and then it had 823 heads on it, the same JFR cam, the same turbo and log. And then the first time it had a really loose converter, and it was a really fun truck until I went with that yank converter. And then that yank converter, they claimed they could only stall it to like 2,000 RPMs, and then it tore up, and that killed the combo. So this thing will be a lot lighter, obviously. I'm hoping around 3,500 pounds when complete. And then with a 3,200 stall converter and the Liberty heads and everything. So this thing ought to do very well, I'm hoping, because Clifford with that setup made pretty good power, and we were pretty much out of fuel pump, and we were out of injector, because I only had 80-pound injectors in that truck. And then I've got the 120-pound per hour Holley injectors in this one, so I had to order some spacers to so these will bolt back in the correct location here with the supply brackets there. So but yeah, I decided to go with 120-pound injectors this time, and then got my 3-bar map, and then the regulator mounted up. So I'll feed it from the back with my Dash 8, and then cross over in the front, and then return from the back. So, and then here's my catch cannon hoses and fittings and all that stuff there. And then the 9-inch, so posi unit, and then 325 gear, because we'll be running a 28-inch tire, and then we got our double rib case. So I still got to build all of this and get that done, but my thought process is, for now, I'll just leave the rear end alone, so that way if I'm in a crunch, I'm not having to build the rear end and all that stuff, set everything up, and then switch that, which swapping the chunk in a 9-inch doesn't take that long. So but I need to do something, because it's been, since I put the 1350 yoke on it, it's been leaking, and I don't know if it's leaking through where it's leaking from, around the seal, because that's probably the first time that yoke's been off of this thing since '66. But anyway, I'm hoping all this works out, and it is still kind of a question mark. Because this is a 9 3/8 and that's a 9-inch, and I've read that you can put a 9 3/8 chunk in a 9-inch, so I'm assuming you can go the other way, but we all know what assumptions get us. So there, the exhaust coming out down there, if you can see it. Probably can't see it. Still can't see it. Anyway, so the muffler's under there, and then what I want to do is take this pipe here and then just turn it out in front of the back tire, and that's the other reason I want the bed on, so when I get to that part I can kind of see where the bed's going to be and where I can come out for the exhaust. I also got the battery box, so my thought is put it on the frame rail under the bed there, and then that'll kind of move some of the weight back, and then get it out of the engine bay, and hopefully I'll be able to put it on the frame rail and still have room to access the battery, and that'll work out. But yeah, so that's pretty much where we're at on it. And like I say, I was really hoping that I'd have a lot more done than this. It's frustrating. But you know, the main takeaway is you really gotta be careful, because that happened in just an instant. I was holding the piece of pipe that I was trying to cut with the portaband, and then I just put a new blade on it. And as soon as I pulled the saw down, it caught right here, and then you can see where it just rolled the pipe and then pulled my hand into the saw. So I don't know, man, it was pretty scary. Look down and see, you know, that much damage that it did. So and then plus not having the full functionality in my hand, you know, I've been hurt a lot, and this is very, it's pretty bad, because like I say, you use your thumb for a lot, and you don't realize it, I guess, until you about cut it off. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get back to this thing, and still haven't used this thing since this happened, and I'm still a little gun shy. So I figured I'll wait on finishing up this cold side piece, and for my safety. So anyway, that's the update for now.